Are we good to go?
Yeah, we're good to go.
Let's do this.
You mean that's your reply to what I'm going to say? No, you're just going to say, like, no, that's a new untold story. Yeah. Hey, is that story old or told? Fuck no, baby! It's a new untold story. A new untold story. It's a fresh bake untold story. A new untold story.
Now we're never going to be able to do more than an hour and a half.
Yeah. Now we will.
It's late. It's late.
I know.
It's late for you guys?
Yeah.
I'm on West Coast time right now, so it's actually pretty early for me.
Oh, you're going on 1 hour of sleep.
Hour and a half.
Hour and a half, give or take.
Intro us.
Alrighty, welcome back to Boy Story,
Nice.
Part 1.
Is it?
We'll see.
Okay.
A new untold dad.
A new
That's
one
pretty
told
good.
Dad. Part 1 or Part 2. You don't really know. You don't really know what you're going to get.
I think we're going to change the name of our podcast.
I think we should all change the names. What are you going to change yours to?
I don't know. But they can't sell it worth a lick.
Because of the anus thing?
No, probably because it's bad.
and that plays a big factor.
But I feel like it's also just like a death knell to change your name, the name of the podcast 4 years in.
Yeah. Has there been any big podcasts that have done that? That, like, already have a following that have changed the name?
I don't think it would be
Cumtown.
that detrimental.
Cumtown, the Adam Friedland show. But I think did they end that?
Yeah, it's over now.
'Cause I saw they did that reunion episode.
Was
Yeah.
that real?
Yeah. I listened to the reunion. It was great. It was very funny.
It was very funny.
You know what I realized is that that you're the boy, he's the son, and I'm the dad. Or you might actually even be the dad,
You're about to be an actual
No, you're
dad.
the dad. You're the dad for sure.
but I might be the boy. No, you're the son. You're the boy,
You're the dad.
and he's the boy.
How would you not be the dad?
I'm listening.
And you're the son.
Am I? Okay, I could argue with that.
Or you're the dad, I'm the dad, and he's the boy. Maybe that's what the new name should be.
boy.
Dad, boy. Dad, boy,
boy.
dad.
Yeah, that would be a good change.
Dad, boy, dad.
Yeah.
We just changed it to pretty much the same name.
2 dads and a boy.
Yeah, dad, boy, boy.
I think I just want to take a noun, just pick out a random noun, and that's the name of the pod. Simple.
Not a bad idea.
Yeah.
What are you thinking?
I don't know. Give me a noun.
You give me a noun.
That's 2 nouns.
Whoa! What the hell?
It's hyphenated.
I guess this is.
Yeah, hyphenated. It's fine.
Yeah, that's not bad. FG.
No, it was fine until they printed out at the Chicago office all the letters. Like they have the names of the podcast outside of the studio now.
Yeah.
Just as anus on the wall. And we had like a all hands meeting where sales could go in and hop in any studio they wanted. And they just walked right past ours every time.
Yeah.
And like they were doing like this collectible card game where you could get a card of like each show.
Yeah.
And that's how like got them into the studio. And they moved ours to the Will Compton Museum in the bathroom.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right.
Tough.
I have a very important question that I spent a long time thinking about, and I want everyone to answer this individually, but it is imperative that each of you answers this honestly and thoughtfully.
Wow.
Okay.
Such a good prompt.
Okay? You have to answer this honestly.
Well, I'll answer it honestly, depending on what the question is.
Yeah, and without being influenced by
Well,
other
that's a
people's
big
answers.
ask.
Maybe can we write our answers down or something?
Well, no, because I want to hear everyone's reasons, and I think it will help.
Okay.
I'll say the question is this. Let's say that you guys had been alive as, I don't know, let's say like 35-year-old men in 1852,
Okay.
in America,
So like senior citizens.
in 1852.
Yeah, like at the end of our lives.
Yeah, right. In a state like on the border of the North and the South.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, I would.
So-
I would have.
Kentucky,
Yeah.
Kentucky or Virginia, maybe, although those were pretty, I don't know. Do you think, like knowing what you know now and having the moral compasses that you have now, do you think that you guys would have, if you'd had slaves, freed them,
Mm-hmm.
or not had slaves, fought for abolition, like what would your stance have been regarding slavery at that time?
Do you think there's ever anyone that was so racist that they freed them just out of frustration?
Get the fuck
Yeah,
out
it's
of
like,
here.
yeah,
I
just
can't
get the
stand the
fuck
sight
I'll
of you.
do it myself.
Yeah, like
I mean, they hate
they
themselves.
can't even do a good job at this. I'll show them how it's done.
Never send a slave to pick cotton away.
I got to do it yourself.
Can't
An
pick like a
owner
white
can.
man. Yeah, he's so racist that he freed his slaves.
Because the reason I
I can't
asked
even
this-
see you in my house.
Oh, I'll be the first to say that I would free them.
This is my
I would have
point.
never had them.
Everybody says
See,
I would have.
I would have.
I mean, there are some chores I hate doing.
Like,
The dishes,
Dishes.
making my bed, putting my socks on in the morning. I would have them for sure. I definitely have them.
I got another tier for you. Just to add this in. Would you theoretically have let your house be a stop on the Underground Railroad, where you're now putting yourself at actual risk?
No, I'm a huge pussy.
No, not a million years.
Yeah.
why? What was happening to them? It's not like in Germany you were housing Jews where they would kill the Germans who were housing the Jews. If you were stopped on the Underground Railroad, I don't think you'd get in like trouble.
Yeah,
I think
they
you
would
did.
100%
By whom?
murder you.
I think
Who would
like,
murder you?
Well, it was like aiding
people
in
that
the
found you.
theft of property. It was like slaves were considered property,
Mhm.
and constables and police or whatever would, if they found out that you'd hollowed out a nook behind your bookshelf.
Just like the Confederacy knocking on my door because they heard a muffled subwoofer.
Yeah,
It's not my. It's not me.
Are those sneakers squeaking on hardwood?
I
it's
think
a
there were
good
penalties.
question.
I think there were penalties for it.
There had to have been.
The
Yeah.
Wild Bill's family did it.
Yeah, but the Klan hadn't really come up yet.
Oh, I guess the Klan would.
The Klan,
Frack,
no,
you always
but
forget about
the Klan came in. They were like more in at the end of the Civil War, and then in the years after. That was when the Klan came up to basically stop.
So you're saying with our
Reconstruction.
current moral compass, would we have slaves?
I guess my question is this, right? It's
hard
so
to know.
easy for us to say. Everyone wants to
Yeah.
say, like, given who I am and what I know, I would have definitely either not had slaves, I would have freed the slaves if I had had them for some reason, and I would have helped slaves escape, right?
Mhm.
But you also then have to think questions like, well, I'm a good businessman.
Yeah.
And I know myself in the way that I view hard work and labor and tilling the fields and running a farm, whatever, like all these things. And given the way that you are now,
No one's honest enough to say that they would just try to be cool with them.
Yeah.
That they would try to impress them by
So-
changing their accent a little bit.
Let me ask you this: do you think there's something we're doing right now that in
I think there's two
100
things.
years will
I
be
think-
frowned upon?
I think I have.
Because like I had Xbox Live when it first came out, and then I did things that I wouldn't do now. I said things that I wouldn't say now.
Right.
Yeah.
I screamed things that I wouldn't say now.
I think that there are things that you can know about yourself in terms of empathy that might help inform your decision on that.
But if you're instilled since birth that these people aren't human on the same level you are,
But there were still Southerners that were abolitionists.
Mm.
I think there's two things now that are the same. One of them I think is genuinely the slaughter and eating of meat. That like in years could be looked at as like a wildly, especially factory farming, could be
Factory
looked at
farming,
as
yes.
like a wildly inhumane thing.
How could they ever have done that?
How could they ever? And like, I would never have eaten meat. I would have definitely been if there's alternate protein sources, or there's even people who are like, I'll never have cloned meat. I'd never eat cloned meat. And it's like, why would you not eat cloned meat? Is like
Right.
avoids factory farming. And I guess people love hunting. And then the other thing I think is the ownership of robots. I think that like the sentience of robots. I think that like in like 500 years, we might look back at the show BattleBots as like Mandingo fights of young
I could
robots.
see that.
Wow, what
Just
a great take.
Like we're fighting the young robots against one another, and they're like for sport, and we're just like loving it. And they might, have some. Because I think there's already robots who are like, I don't want to do the work.
Yeah, it's a slippery slope.
Are there though? Like, are robots getting that? Like, I know you always hear the worries of like, oh, the robots they're gonna gain their own I don't know. They're gonna
Sentience.
Yeah, they're gonna start having their own emotions and feelings. And
I don't want to do the dishes.
Yeah,
That was pretty
They're gonna have
good.
their own emotions, you think, though?
Why would we program emotions in?
that's what I don't
Are
understand.
we programmed by a much higher technology that we're unaware of?
Could be.
Bro, that nicotine is doing crazy
Yeah,
shit in your
that's gone
brain
straight
right
to your
now.
brain.
I know that was
Like,
6 milligram.
What about the extent of like winning a goldfish at a carnival? That's got to be.
Pets are an interesting comp, yeah.
But
that
like,
one I think is kind of
Or not
already
comp, but
yeah.
like I mean
But you're giving a goldfish to a 10-year-old, 9-year-old, and you know that thing is going to have the worst imaginable life ever.
well it's gonna die.
I think fish are
within
too
the next
accessible.
10 hours.
Yeah.
I got a goldfish at a carnival or at a fair once, the Marshfield Fair in Massachusetts, and we brought it back. We went with like 4 of my friends when I was really young. We brought it back to his house and it died that night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's
We
not
woke up
worse
the
than
next morning, and his dad was like, "Yeah, dude, I jumped out of the water and just like landed on the ground.
It's just a fish. Flush it. Fucking flush it.
Yeah,
All right, guys, quick teeny tiny break to talk about Game Time. They don't make it easy to buy concert tickets these days. You got to sign up for the pre-sale, get in the queue. And then by the time you're through, Kyle, the best seats, they're gone. It's a damn shame.
Not with game time.
Not with Game Time, and especially with the Game Time Picks feature. It makes it easier than ever to find great deals at the seats you want. You just pull up your chosen event, you turn on the GT Picks setting at the top of the screen, and browse the best local Game Time Picks deals near you on the Game Time app homepage. I was looking at tickets for
Shane Gillis
at O2 Arena.
Yeah.
in London,
that's where it is.
and I saw an amazing Game Time Picks deal for great seats, only at a shockingly low price.
Yeah, I was shocked too.
Were you? That's fantastic.
And last second, go to England.
Yeah, why not? You guys at home can take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code UNTOLD, UNTOLD, for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code UNTOLD for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. What time is it? Game time. Nice. All right. Another break to talk about Kickoff, KIKOFF. And no matter how fast time seems to be flying by, it's never too late to make progress. If you're saving up for a big purchase like a home or a car and need to help to build credit fast, Kickoff is here to help. They're the #1 credit building app on the App Store, and plans start at just $5 a month. No credit check, no hidden fees, and no interest. It's important to have your credit high, especially if you're of the age of you're buying a car or a house.
If you have a high credit, congrats. But
Yes.
if you have a low credit under 600, your score can jump up to 28 points in the first month.
That's pretty wild. Kickoff is a smart, legit credit hack with no catch, no credit check, no hidden fees, no interest. Building credit can happen faster than you expect with Kickoff. Don't wait. Get your first month for just $1 at getkickoff, KIKOFF.com/untold. That's Kickoff without the C. Get 80% off at getkikoff.com/untold. Must sign up via kickoff.com/untold to activate offer. Offer applies to new customers first month only, subject to approval. Offer subject to change. Terms and conditions may apply. Point stat based on Equifax Vantage Score 3.0 changes for Kickoff users starting under 600 who made their first on-time payment between January 2021 and March 2024. Payment and credit activity outside of Kickoff can have an impact on your credit. Individual results may vary. Kyle, this ad copy says it can be R-rated, so we're talking about some fucking bird dogs. Wear them with your fucking cock out
Yeah,
and your
cock.
bare ass.
And dressing can be tricky as hell for fucking dudes. People so often dress too fucking formal or too fucking informal. Whether it's like a hoodie, no, you're sloppy. Blazer, you're dressed for a fucking funeral.
Yeah, but what about a fucking
something in between?
What about like what about quarter zip? I didn't know how to put the word cunt into that.
fucking yeah? The fucking Bird Dogs classic quarter zips are fucking perfect.
Yeah.
You're looking for something in between. It's good
For a date, good for the office. It's good for everything. If you're going to the office, you're like, I want to go to a movie afterwards. You're already in comfy clothes.
Yeah, perfect for a date, for a banquet, for a golf outing with somebody that you're just friends with or somebody that you're trying to impress, maybe a networking opportunity. Bird Dogs has it all. It is the perfect balance of comfort, quality, and style.
For a limited time, our listeners get a free hat with any order using code UNTOLD at birddogs.com. Get this hat completely free when you use code UNTOLD at birddogs.com. Support our show and let them know we sent you.
That's not worse than eating
Yeah.
a fish, though.
No, I kind of disagree about them.
I would
about
rather be killed and eaten than kept in a fucking vase.
bowl.
Really?
Yeah.
'Cause
Yeah.
at
But
least you're alive.
nothing will be worse than being caught on a hook and having to fight for your life and then being reeled in against your will and being held up in front of a camera as
I think
as
veal is
prize.
the worst to look at, right? Isn't veal the one where they don't even let them stand?
Yeah.
What are we staring
Some
at
of
each
them.
other?
I mean,
for?
there's some that are like olive.
That's what I do.
What, you don't let people? Oh, fish.
Because I hold the fish up in front of the camera.
Well, you let it go though.
I let it go. Great release.
What were you about to disagree with?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, I wasn't disagreeing with. Oh. I was gonna say. I don't know if I agree necessarily with the. I agree with the factory farming
really
thing
sorry.
for sure, but I don't know if I agree with the
Eating meat
that
in
people
general.
Stop eating meat. I think you need
So why not clone the meat?
cloning the meat. I get. Yeah, that makes sense. I'm not anti-clone.
Yeah, I think there's
Pro-clone.
there's
Don't get me wrong.
there's ecosystems of like food that you need to keep. Like you need to keep the order so like the wolves don't overtake the humans or whatever.
Yeah.
Like the dolphins don't rape the people. Or
It is
whatever.
tough because I have like I feel like I love cows. A huge cow guy. I'm on r/cow all the time.
Yeah,
I've
have been for a long
Yeah,
time.
I've always been a big cow guy. I follow a lot of cow Instagram accounts.
Can I just say that my dad's favorite saying when he's driving and there's a slow car in front of him, his favorite saying in the world,
What?
move it or milk it.
whoa, I've never heard that.
He says it comes from India, where often there are cows in the streets because cows are sacred
Oh.
and that they cause traffic.
Interesting.
He's
Because
been
you
to
can't,
India.
you don't move it. Like they have to let the cows sit there.
Right.
Yeah, I could definitely kill. I think I could probably how many chickens could you murder before you felt bad?
I think like snapping the neck of one.
I
would make me
think-
feel a little bad.
Yeah.
But like mowing down a bunch at once would almost feel better.
One is a tragedy, a million's a statistic.
I'd feel it would just,
A million, you're just doing your
That's
job.
about chickens.
Yeah. Well, I got to put food on my family's.
yeah, I would like more comfortably detonate a 10,000 than like ring one's neck.
Dude, if I had the choice of like hitting a button and drowning 1,000 chickens or like stomping one out, I'm killing 1,000.
I would. Yeah, I don't know about drown, but I would kill 1,000.
I would kill.
with one press.
I would rather kill 1,000 chickens than have to kill one cow by myself.
Well, that's how you value life. Is that a size thing?
I think it is a size
Yeah.
thing.
Well,
I really do.
chickens are dumb as fuck, and cows are
Chickens
like
are dumb. Cows are cool. Cows have friends, which I think is really interesting.
they like music.
Yeah.
They like bouncy balls.
Like,
They'll
you
like
really-
frolic.
But it's also more impressive to take down something bigger. Like, oh wow, you killed a chicken. I
Yeah.
just took down a horse.
I definitely agree with that.
You know what it is?
Yeah,
It's also,
horse.
I think cows blink. Cows blink.
It's a matter of
Blinking
blinking.
is a big thing.
Yeah, and they lick their lips.
I think the
and shit.
closer they are
They're
to
cute.
humans,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Like,
to-
I think
it might be a matter of lips
it could be.
because I'm fine with fish and birds.
Yeah, definitely.
I think the sexiness of the eyes is a big part of it for me.
You need to
I
see
think
the whites,
you could argue that cows have alluring eyes.
big long lashes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Dude,
lashes,
that's like-
lashes. That's
Yeah.
a big part of it.
But
it is interesting because I've killed fish and even when I've killed those fish and I know like this is like people eat fish. This is how every fish that I've ever ate has died like this.
I was very naive, and this is probably embarrassing to say. I didn't know fish had regular blood
Oh yeah.
because like you had to
A
club
lot
that
of it.
one in the back of a boat.
yeah,
and it kept on
admitted
bleeding.
blood.
They don't stop.
I
They
didn't
don't
like
stop
clubbing
bleeding.
a
Unlimited
fish.
blood.
Mhm.
What?
I did not like clubbing a fish to
Yeah,
death.
and we
That-
filmed it in slow mo.
You
But
guys
you're
think
right
that's
about the fish hook going through the mouth and
That's fucked
being
up.
pulled in against its might
yeah.
for minutes and minutes. That would be
It gets
But
the
we're
worst
cool with
pain
it.
ever, and then it just can't breathe.
Then you're like, please God, kill me.
yeah,
Please,
I'm
anything
begging
to
you.
end
No,
this
didn't you-
torment. And then they're like, there you go.
oh he's
Yeah.
good. Look, he can still swim.
He's like, what? I have to go back and face this potential again?
Yeah, it is definitely like because I like with how much I love fishing.
and you pose with it as it's struggling to
It
try
is-
to. You're on one knee as it's screaming, "I can't breathe."
Yeah, well, what do you do? What you do is ideally you try to keep it in the water as long as you can and like let it like catch its breath before you take the photo. Like you keep it in the net in the water and like give it a minute, and then you like I only had like the fish that I caught this week, and people get mad when you with anything with trout, but they were like I only had the
People get
fishes-
mad with anything with trout.
Like anyone that fishes for trout, there's a million things that you can do to help the fish. Like you're supposed to like wet your hands before you touch the fish, which I did. I do that every time. Because if you don't wet your hands before you hold the trout, you remove its like protective. You remove the slime.
So at what point do you
which
just
is what
not
its
fish?
Immune system. I don't know.
No,
Not
I think
fishing is the best thing for the
I think
trout.
the answer is you fish, but you just don't take a photo of the fish when you catch it.
Disagree. Because that's like the most fun part.
Yeah, but that's the part
Like,
that
that's
serves you and
easily-
does no good for the fish.
Yeah, but the taking care of the fish, like that fish that
What
I
if it
caught
raises
lived.
awareness? I'm like, wow, that's a beautiful fish.
I think that
no,
for
if anything, it would get
for
me into the
every
hobby.
second that a fish is held aloft out of the water, it's screaming and it feels like it's being dipped in hot oil.
And weren't we lied to about how the memory of a fish is not like it? They feel pain, tremendous pain, maybe even worse.
Trout have a far longer memory than goldfish. Goldfish is very quick like that.
And that's why we give them to kids.
Correct.
Fish have memory, but I don't think getting caught as a fish doesn't hurt how you would think it would, like as a human. It's not like, what did I just bite into? I think it's more like the fact that all of a sudden you're like pretty much tied to a leash.
You're comparing the hook through their fucking jawbone to a leash.
Like it's like I think the reason that they're freaking out is because they were like, well, I was just swimming and all of a sudden I can't go backwards.
I don't know if I agree with fishing.
I think as
The
long as a
morality-wise.
Jackass member has done it, I'm cool with doing that to an animal.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say, like, imagine if you went to get your cheek pierced at Spencer's, or not Spencer's
Claire's.
Gifts, Claire's in the mall, and while you were sitting on that chair, they put the hook through your cheek, and then all of a sudden, someone, in Sports Authority started fucking pulling you down the hall.
Yeah.
And
And then they dunk you
you're like, "No,
underwater to
no."
where you can't breathe.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, oh my God,
You
what
don't
a
know
big
where
one.
you're being taken.
You don't even know where you're being taken. You're fighting. You're trying to get back. You're like, I don't know. No, this is where I want to be. And then,
You
some
end up in a tub of water,
Yeah.
completely encased
Right. That is exactly it.
for 10 minutes.
Right.
But we all
I'm with
love meat.
Kyle, the jackass theory.
If they do it, I'll do it to an animal.
Yeah, that's why I only
That's
kill
the thing.
animals with a skateboard to their chins.
I've just been putting them in shopping carts and pushing them into a bush.
Yeah.
I kill my
Flattening
chickens by putting a
cow
toy
dicks.
car in their ass.
Yeah, I put a gas mask on a cow's mouth and fart into it until they die.
It's the only humane way to
That's what
ingest
we-
meat.
Yes.
We should have a farm that's only killed with jackass methods.
There we go.
Fucking a horse.
we flattened this horse's penis.
Yes.
We made its penis 2-dimensional.
Until it died.
Pontius was able to handle it, so we're good.
Yeah, it is kind of a weird one because especially like fly fishing and like trout, like the people are so obsessed with like protecting the trout. Like, oh, don't fish here if the fish are spawning, like use barbless hooks, like all that shit. But I guess like at the end of the day, like, yeah, like the best thing to do is just don't fish.
But then you just see other animals killing other animals by any means necessary.
That's the thing, too.
Wait. So then the answer is, if there is an invasive species or there needs to be some sort of population control in order for the ecosystems to work properly, then you can make the argument you should do that.
If lions could use guns, they would.
Yeah.
I was very compelled by the hunting argument that I heard in South Africa when I was there about how in Kenya, hunting of any kind is illegal. And in the Masai Mara, what happens is elephants kind of run through everything and they leave the reserve and they go into the neighboring farmlands where farmers are, trying to subsist on crops and things like that. And the elephants knock their fucking trees down that they are growing. And then the farmers can't make money. So then they poison their own trees to kill the elephants in order to live. And whereas in South Africa, they issue tags for a certain number of like rhinos and I think elephants and lions and things like that. And I guess there's more of a symbiosis between hunter and
Yeah, see,
animal.
that's tough though, is like even like hunting, like I could definitely go like duck hunting.
Yeah?
Yeah. Like duck hunt, like I could shoot birds. That wouldn't really bother me.
in Argentina, you can go shoot doves and you can bag 2,000 or more
we
a
talked
day.
about this on. We
That's
talked about
so
this once,
many.
yeah.
Thousands.
No, I think it was more. I think it was like
Thousands of dubs.
4,000 an hour
you
or
can
something like that.
just shoot in the sky. You're going to hit 4.
Yeah.
But where's the fun in that?
There's no fun.
Like, didn't you say you had a friend or you met someone?
I've
that
gone
did it?
bird hunting.
No, you met someone that did the dove hunting.
Yeah,
And you said they caught. You said they killed like 12,000 over the course
It's
of an
something
hour.
insane. It's
Because there was
something.
like 5 of them shooting.
So that doesn't even take skill.
No.
It reminds you of the old buffalo hunts.
Right,
when
just run 'em
Buffalo
off a
Bill
cliff.
would just, or he would just like kill 58 buffalo in a ring in 5 minutes. As
That's
you
like
know,
us fishing in a stocked pond.
as the Cherokee tears
Not really.
filled the.
You're not catching
Urinals.
12,000.
But
in
they're
1 hour.
trapped in one place.
Yeah.
And they're way easier to catch.
well, I don't fish in stock ponds. I don't
I
fish in
didn't.
any
Why are
ponds.
you? I didn't say anything about you at all.
You're
This
looking
isn't
at me.
about
You're
you.
looking at me. While
You're the fisher.
You're looking at me.
You're the person who made the whole personality around fishing.
definitely not my whole personality.
I think what we've learned here is that Sass.
1/3 of your entire personality.
It's really. I mean, it's 1/3 is fishing, 1/3 is video games, 1/3 is comedy. Football, 4/4. I am football. I am football.
No, I think
You're
those other 3 are
100%
bigger. I think those other 3 are worth 30% each, and then 10% is football.
You're just like trying to do football to impress Brandon Walker.
I know. I would say I probably like football more than. Like, I like watching football more than most of those things.
No,
You're actually phenomenally lucky to be able to break down your interests because I don't think I could pick a percentage of anything that I like.
it's a good take.
Thanks.
There is a simplicity to Harry's pie chart
Yeah.
that almost feels peaceful.
Mine's tavern cut, just like a billion different things, and
Yeah.
it's not good.
It's not bad though.
But I
Good to have a lot
couldn't
of
really
interests.
name you 5 things I like.
Video games.
Enough. Yeah. I love. Yeah. Now I do, but that was like that's so new. I'm so new.
It'll
to
never
that.
go away though.
You don't think?
Ever.
Okay.
My number one thing that gives me happiness in all of the world, swimming.
What?
Being submerged in water.
That's
and
not
swimming.
even a top
Swimming
200 for me.
casually, recreationally, for sport, for
Not exercise. No. Jumping
just
in
like
the ocean
being-
on a hot day.
Really?
Not even
But
top
you know,
200.
So like,
diving under a wave.
Oh, yeah.
Being underwater for me is my favorite thing in the
I like
world.
being walloped by waves, but I don't like being wet.
I don't feel. It's the one time in my life where I feel devoid of any like distractions or preoccupations or
Swimming.
yeah.
I thought you were gonna say golf.
My favorite thing is trying to do as much underwater as I can. How many lengths of the pool?
I think I would enjoy swimming a lot more if I had a good body.
But then you swim and get a good body.
Yeah, but I don't want to do that.
Right. That's therein
That's
lies the
crazy.
issue.
I'm not gonna work out.
Also,
but,
swimmers' bodies aren't my favorite bodies on men.
big shoulders.
What's your favorite
Long-
body on men?
Probably running back,
Running back body.
Yes.
There's a
Maybe.
wide man.
maybe wide receiver.
running
KB?
back.
Did you see that Ohio State running back Quinshon Judkins? His body's incredible. It's
I've
beautiful.
seen him on DraftKings.
KB, you're kind of built like a running back.
Yeah.
No, I want my legs to be a lot.
Your legs
thicker.
would have to get a little thicker.
I like.
A lot thicker.
What about Brad Pitt Fight Club?
See,
Decent-
it's too scrappy.
bod.
It's a little too scrappy for me. I don't mind that. That
You
lean-
wouldn't turn it down.
I don't mind that lean athleticism, but I think that later on, like him and Troy, I liked that a little
Wow.
more
Yeah, yeah.
because I still don't think he was too beefy in that.
Mhm.
I don't think he was ridiculous. Whereas, Chris Hemsworth in Thor 1,
Mhm.
a little too beefy for me.
Yeah.
Too
Beautiful
beef.
physique. Beautiful.
Kyle,
Gymnast.
gymnast.
Oh, were you saying me for your idea?
Yeah, you're mine.
Okay.
Gymnast is a good one.
Their arms look like protractors.
Yeah,
I like
gymnast
that.
is like kind of like soccer player,
But
but like
they're-
athletic.
Mhm.
What's your ideal man facially?
That's a good question.
Brad Pitt in Fight Club.
That's mine.
Yeah, Pitt's up there. I think then I would go Chris Hemsworth. I
Yeah.
think his face is perfect.
God, yeah.
Also,
Stunning.
what?
Stunning.
Yeah.
Mine's George Lopez.
I think I see more attractive dudes than women, or I'm gay.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the gymnasts are gay, deep down.
The male gymnasts.
Yeah. I used to write about the male gymnast team at Penn State. That was like my beat for a while. And so I go to every practice and they're all gay as hell.
They're
But,
like ripped thespians.
incredibly, yeah. They really
They
are.
have but they lean into that like flamboyance I don't know if they're actually gay. I think they have perfect bodies.
Right.
And like the athleticism they do is, I think, is the coolest thing in sports.
Really?
If you think about it,
Yeah, to make like doing
incredible
3 flips.
and the
is
most
pretty
incredible
sick.
feats of strength.
I need a score
and
to enjoy
athleticism.
something.
They have
Yeah.
scores in gymnastics.
I not judge based.
Yeah, not a 9 out of
no,
10.
there is scores.
I don't want to feel like I'm
That
watching
I don't like
Dave's
that when it's like
pizza reviews.
9.542 and it's somebody's eye did that.
Yeah.
I don't think it is. I think it's based on there's like certain moves that are worth certain amount of points, and there's like
Is that how it's done?
a peak of number of points that you can get for a certain routine, and it's if you hit every single thing, you
Yeah.
get to the peak
They
of it.
start at a number based on the routine's
Nothing is
difficulty, and then they
subjective, though?
subtract
No,
off
it's
that.
not like a
okay,
pizza
okay.
score.
How
See,
do
I
they
didn't know
how, like,
that. I
high
thought it was
they
all.
got, or
So what is
how
diving?
gracefully they landed.
Is that all
Diving, I think,
judging?
is pretty sick.
DraftKings, Kyle.
Yeah,
Use it a lot.
I gotta keep moving it around on my home screen because I keep eroding the place where it is with my thumb because
Yeah.
I open it so often.
So yeah, the oils are having
Yeah.
a reaction to the glass.
Yep. But what can't we say about it?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right.
Mhm.
But when it comes to college basketball, this March Mania, one thing is for sure, nothing's for sure. Upsets, buzzer beaters, Cinderella's advancing, top seeds going home early. It's all going to happen. Bet the unexpected every upset every day with DraftKings Sportsbook with live betting, exclusive content, promos, parlays. DraftKings is the ultimate college basketball destination for March. Ready to make your first bet? Check out the matchups and pick a team to win, and it's that simple. First time? Here's something special just for you. New DraftKings customers bet $5, get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Bet the unexpected with DraftKings Sportsbook. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use code UNTOLD. That's code UNTOLD, UNTOLD for customers to get the $200 bonus bet when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours.
All right. And finally, this episode is brought to you by Stella Blue, the coffee company that keeps us going. We
Keeps
drink
us
it every
awake
day.
and moving.
We drink it every morning, and it tastes so good. And at Stella Blue Coffee, those guys and girls believe that good coffee is one of life's non-negotiables. I agree.
Fair point.
And it's time to stop drinking those boring big coffee beans and turn to Stella Blue. Again, they come in, they're so good, and they come in cold brew, K-cups, ground.
I'm a K-cup man myself.
I always do the K-cups, but I've had the cold brew.
I'm
It's
a light
phenomenal.
roast guy. But the best part, I think, of Stella Blue, it's tied with the taste, I'll say, is a portion of the proceeds for every purchase benefit Paws Chicago, which helps find homes for more than 5,000 dogs and cats every year and is home to the nation's largest medical hospital for homeless pets.
Mhm.
To get 15% off your next order, get involved with Mug Mania by going to StellaBlueCoffee.com and picking your vote for the Stella Blue Coffee's next best-selling mug design. Stella Blue Coffee. Great purpose, better coffee. You
Like,
do.
high diving is insane.
You have to
Getting,
be
like,
brave
fried
as
and
fuck.
diving?
Yeah.
Those are the gayest of the gay, though.
The top divers
How do you think- what do you think it's like-
11-year-old Chinese girls.
Yeah.
They're like winning the Olympics.
What do you think it's like getting into something like that where it's like most of the dudes that do it are gay?
Yeah, how do you tell your dad you want to start
I'm gonna be a
diving?
gymnast,
Yeah.
but I'm not. You're like, I promise I'm not.
It could be a gay
But then you
dad.
just you'll end up. It might be the act of diving that turns you gay.
I talked to a dude this weekend after my shows in Seattle who was a flight attendant, and he was probably around my age, and he said that it's awesome.
Yeah.
Why?
and he
Does
was
he
like-
mops up or
He
what?
said it's just him. It'll be him, like 2 old ladies and a gay dude. And he said they just like all just like shoot the shit the entire day and just like bring people food.
Yeah.
What percentage
It's
of
like love,
he had to
right?
tell you that?
Nah, but I was like, what's it like? Because
I
he
mean-
said he literally is like, he's like, I think he said he's worked with like a straight dude on a plane like once
I
ever.
believe he likes it, but being confined to the narrowness of an airplane and serving people food isn't like a pleasurable day.
No. But
Yeah.
I'm sure there's some perks.
I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd like it because I don't like flying so much as to want my office to be an airplane.
If you're from a one-horse town, it's probably incredible.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
you like haven't been able to see the world, wasn't Caitlin Walker like a flight
She was a
attendant?
small town. She was like a very small airline flight attendant.
Oh, really? I didn't know that because Brandon worked at that airport too, right?
She was at like, I think she was at like an Arizona one.
Oh, interesting.
And it was only like Arizona, Nevada, Texas or something. Like,
Was it?
I'm talking out my ass, but it was like some sort of regional airline.
Wasn't Brandon one of the dudes with the glow stick?
Yeah,
Waving in
he
the
was up.
planes?
He worked at an airport on 9/11.
Yeah, like on the actual 9/11.
Yeah.
Yeah,
As opposed to
the anniversary
right.
that we so famously celebrate every year.
Yeah, but in which case, who gives a shit?
Wow.
If
9/11,
Brandon Walker
2002,
was,
you don't think that was a tough day at the airport?
yeah, but
I bet you that was probably the safest day at the airport ever.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're working at the airport,
What was a
it's
safer
probably
day at the airport? 9/11/02 or 9/12/01?
9/12.
I feel like
01?
9/11/02 was like a little tense.
Yeah, but like
Nah, 9/11/02. Because 9/11,
9/12.
9/12/01, they probably were like,
That's
they
a good question.
probably not a lot had changed.
Well, that or they were like, there's no way it happens back to back.
Yeah.
No, well, they
That's
shut
the day
down.
I'm interested in 9/12/01.
Yeah,
Yeah, but they
Airports
shut
might
all
have
the.
been
They were all
closed.
shut down. All the airports
Yeah, I
were
was
shut
gonna
down that
say.
day.
yeah.
So the first day it was back. That's the day. The first day they opened up air travel again. That's the day.
Well,
where
then
you're like,
wouldn't like what
That'd be a cool movie.
when air travel, like, so if 9/11 happens and all air travel shuts down on 9/12, it was still shut down, you're saying?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What,
There was
like-
all flights were grounded for multiple days.
Yeah, there were some people like stuck in Canada for a while, right?
I think so. I'll look this up.
What about because I know Tom Brady's first start in the NFL, or I guess they were coming from New England, so maybe they just drove.
Didn't the plane come from Boston?
Yeah. But his first start in the NFL, I think, was like 9,
What is
or
like
not first start, his first time playing was like 9/13.
the people that worked at
2001.
TSA
in
at
New
that
York.
Boston airport? Do you think like
Yeah.
they had to have quit, right?
Yeah. I don't know, because it wasn't really on them. It was just TSA wasn't
Didn't have the rules.
Yeah. So like those, like they didn't know what was gonna, like two guys had boarding passes and passports and they boarded the plane.
Yeah.
Those guys were fine. They
Yeah.
did nothing wrong.
Well, at the time
They followed
had
the
it.
rules.
At
Yeah.
the time. I watched a show. Have you ever seen that show on Hulu, The Looming Tower?
No.
Read the book,
Phenomenal.
and I did
show.
watch a lot of the show.
The show's great.
Yeah.
Very good. But it is pretty crazy. I always talk about the one thing that always stuck with me was the dudes that like they sent all the terrorists down to like train to do like flight classes
In
And they-
Tampa or
Yeah,
something?
Florida.
in Tampa and I think maybe in Maine, right?
That's where they started,
They
right?
came through Maine. They came through Maine,
and went to the strip
unfortunately.
club.
Are
Not
those
a very
schools still
good,
open?
Oh, I have no idea, but apparently they did the flight simulator, right?
Yeah.
And one of the terrorists was like in the middle of the class, and he was in the flight simulator.
They should have never accepted a terrorist into that school.
No, they should have known. Yeah, they should. Well, I'm a terrorist, but
Say
He
three things
left.
about you.
Two truths and a lie.
he left before they got to right when they were beginning the landing procedure.
Oh, really? That's a
And
horrible
he
time.
just
Yeah.
took off.
A
He was
dead
like- he was
giveaway.
like, I'm done. I'm out.
Took off.
Yeah.
I've learned all I need to know.
Yeah, and they were, and like the FBI knew that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's one of the biggest red flags imaginable.
yeah.
I just need to know how to take it off in a
Yeah.
plane.
Well, you know what they say.
What do they say?
Hindsight is 9/11.
It's a good episode title.
Fuck, that's a good ass title.
All right.
What would 9/11 vision be?
Remember when we did the?
Really good.
I have
that really
9/11 vision.
You see,
You're just constantly screaming.
Remember when we did the?
you
case
see at 9
race?
feet what most people see at 11
You
feet.
see the plane in Boston.
Yeah.
Remember when we did the case race and KB showed up with that Twin Towers like massive button-up shirt,
That was not only the
and Big Cat said you couldn't wear it, and you were furious.
yeah, you got censored. Because I remember
The towers were not aflame on this shirt.
Dude,
It was an homage.
It was the biggest.
we
it was
were
like
pussies
a
about that. I think I was
4XL
like, you can't
button-up.
wear that.
but didn't you have skull face paint?
I had skull face, but that was unrelated.
And you walk for like 2 hours through the rain to buy
He
it.
sprinted.
Yes, I saw it
Yeah.
on the Instagram page of a
And you said, hold
Of
this.
a
It was like 200
vintage
some
shop.
bucks. And it was like an
held it for
8XL.
me. I got escorted into the back to get the.
How much did you spend on it?
It was two. I think it was
like
$200.
$200.
Oh my god.
And then have you seen it since?
I don't know what I did with it. Salvation Army.
But that's one of those ones you can't wear that shirt twice. That's a one-time wear piece.
0 at most.
Yeah. It's a 0 to 1 piece.
I have a lot of pieces like that.
It's a great piece for like a homeless dude to just be walking around in.
That would be something to look at.
That is something we might look back in like 100 years, like how we treat or don't treat homeless people. We kind of just ignore them and let them live a life of complete misery.
Yeah,
Wow.
pretty much.
Some people are lying and some people are using it for drugs, but for the most part, maybe we could be nicer to homeless people.
Yeah. Shit, I'm using it for drugs.
What? The money.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Create them.
Dude,
Yeah.
the homeless people in like Seattle and Oregon are a different type of homeless.
That's man evolved because they don't need food or water.
No, and they're active.
Yeah.
I
They
mean,
have energy.
They will get. I had a dude come up to me yesterday. Yesterday. I drove from Seattle to Oregon, checked into my hotel, slept for 1 hour, and then checked out of the hotel and went to the show. But I had to like put everything. I had all my fishing shit in the car, and I had to get it into my suitcase. And I was doing it like on the side of the road. And this homeless dude comes up to me and goes, "You like guns?"
Whoa.
And I was like, "What?" And he was like, because I was like, they don't look like they're homeless because everyone out there dresses.
Yeah.
You mean they're white?
No, they all
Crazy, bro.
No, I mean, they're
That's
all
a crazy
wearing-
thing to say.
Like a homeless dude will
What?
walk up to you and he's got like an REI rain jacket on, and you're like, "Where the fuck did you get that?"
Yeah, it's the same in Maine, by the way. They all
Yeah.
look like they're on their way to rock climb.
Exactly. Yeah.
I didn't even know Maine had
Yeah. This dude comes up to me. He's like, you like guns?" And I was like, "What?" And he's like firearms. And I was like, "No." And he's like, "Well, we got him. I could get you some." And I was like, "Yeah, now I'm all set."
Why did you just give him your hotel room for a little bit? You only use it for an hour.
I
There's
know,
23
true.
hours.
I
So
know.
could have blessed him with a hotel room.
Yeah, bring his guns in there.
What do you mean they're like active?
They
move around?
No,
Yeah,
it's
they're quick.
methamphetamine though.
They're
That's-
like part of the community that they play like in.
They
rec
blend
leagues
in
and-
with the community.
There's a homeless rec league.
where there's-
Yeah. Like they're part of the people. Like I made a couple jokes last night at the Portland show. I made a couple jokes about the homeless people that worked, and then I made another one later, and it was clear they were like, "All right,
Enough.
yeah." They were like, "We get it."
They're like, we're homeless,
About
bro.
it. Yeah, half of us
Yeah.
are homeless.
Yeah.
Well, do you want to say what you said? Or do you want to wait till you go to another shitty city?
Probably I'll just save it for another shitty city.
Yeah.
Just use the exact
Austin?
same thing.
Oh, Austin, I had an Uber, like I was with Fights.
Homeless Uber.
I had a homeless Uber driver.
You see like the cardboard sign tucked into the passenger seat.
Yeah.
So where do you live? You're looking at
Yeah,
it.
you're in my bed.
Yeah.
Get out of my bed.
We were. All right, you can-
No. Fights asked to stop at a 7-Eleven to get some nicotine, and our Uber driver was drunk as fuck, by the way.
I heard about
Dang.
this.
Yeah, and because we were at a brewery and she was already there,
No,
so I think she clocked in and just drove us home,
That's crazy.
hammered. But she was like, "Okay, I've stopped at the 7-Eleven before. That guy will lunge at you, but he'll never touch you." And so we
Dang.
walked in, and this guy was like lunging at us. But it's just like I think it's just they've accepted.
Yeah. Yeah. It makes
Austin
sense.
was shocking.
Austin's pretty fucked up. That one area, like right downtown, is just like it's crazy.
Oh, I have another question.
Wait, I had one more. I had one more thing about the homeless. I was also with Fights. We were in Times Square filming the other day, and everyone has the signs that say like gonna be honest, like need money for pot.
Yeah,
And
those
we
guys
were
are
saying-
hilarious.
We were saying that one's been a little overdone.
Yeah.
It's time to move on.
Yeah.
Like that went viral like once.
Like,
It was
who am I
gonna be-
kidding? I need a hooker.
Yeah,
So that went viral. Like they don't know that.
We've seen that one, buddy.
Stale
Repost.
material.
We heard that.
Forever it was
Stolen.
Forever it was like need money for food, need money for family, and now every single homeless person is
Yeah.
just like, I'm gonna have a couple beers tonight. Not gonna lie, could use some money.
Yeah,
I've been jonesing for a steak.
And it's like finally somebody that shoots it to us straight.
Yeah,
I'm going to be honest. Need money because the open policy of immigration here in New York City has displaced me from the places I typically sleep, and now I actually need to stay at a 2-star hotel. And I lost my bed to the Venezuelans. Thanks,
God
Joe
fucking
Biden.
damn it. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's very up to date sign. Wow.
Wow. Okay.
Very
Here's
modern.
$3.
Weirdly modern.
I was gonna say, if you guys were in a 7-Eleven and you saw a robbery taking place, and it wasn't a violent one, so it was just like someone looting, right? They just like stuffed a bunch of shit in their backpack. They didn't pull a gun on anyone. Would you try to stop them?
No.
Not even.
Are you
close,
fucking
bro.
kidding
I'd be
me?
hiding in the fucking beer fridge.
Absolutely.
I
not.
absolutely
Their
would.
employees wouldn't try to stop them.
Dude. What?
Oh, by me? Do you guys have the Citizen app on your phone?
Yeah, no.
I used to.
I used to.
It is so fun.
I tried to get into New York and I wasn't getting nearly enough like interesting alerts and I just deleted
Dude, I got a VPN so I could change my location to like China just to see the gruesomeness that's
Damn.
happening. But
Is there gruesomeness in China?
it's just like people swallowed by machines or like like there's just like 4,000 dead because of loose semi tire. And then there's like a video to the link.
I think about the joke that you said on the yak like once a week. Literally, I think it was one of the funniest jokes I've ever heard was when you said you were like, anytime you see a video that's in China, that's from a bird's eye view.
A China top down is you know you're going to see somebody die in a one of one way.
like swallowed by an escalator.
Dude, honestly, if we ever are like, if we're so afraid of war with China, we just need to go there and build escalators.
Oh yeah,
It's like, and then it's out of our. They will find if there's a way to die, the Chinese will figure it out quick. They're an
Also
inventive
film it,
people.
like, they'll
They're an
have a-
inventive people.
yeah. The amount, like every video I see of China, it's like on a bus, and you're just waiting for the bus to explode.
But like, there's the Chinese are some of the unluckiest people.
With his organs out.
Yeah. It's just like there'll be a dude like living this peaceful life, and then it'll just be like a tire bouncing down the road for like 3 miles, and it hits him between the eyes. But no, I have Citizen in Chicago. And I got a notification that 40 teens were fighting in my 7-Eleven. And I was so tempted to just go watch.
Go see what was going
40
on.
is such a hilarious number because
so many.
it must mean 40.
Yeah.
It's not like many or
40 is so
It's not
many
16.
people.
Like 16
That's
would be enough.
shoulder to shoulder in 7-Eleven.
Yeah. It is true though what we were saying about how the employees wouldn't even fight back. The dudes that work at 7-Eleven, like they act like the way that they act when like someone comes in trying to cause some trouble. Like they act like they get like you'd think that they've had guns pulled on them like 8 times a day for the entire time they've worked at 7-Eleven.
I'd love to see those guys' phone bills.
With how-
They're on the phone all
Oh,
day.
they're always
yeah.
talking. Yeah.
But they have no
Invisible
fear.
earpiece. Yeah.
They have
Yes.
no fear.
No, they've been through it all. They've been through it all. Now, what about if you saw someone steal an old woman's purse? Would you run after that guy? Is that
Even
different?
No, not in New York.
No.
Maybe in like
I guess if I was close enough, yeah.
I think I'm a bad. I think I would call the cops, but like intervening, what would I do? Get shot?
There's a lot of selfishness at play for my thinking as to why I.
You would be a hero?
Yeah, I've always wanted to be a hero, but I also think it would help my career.
Oh, dude, wonders.
Yeah. I think that
It
video.
would be good material.
I'd be going into like the
There's- see,
Chipotle across, like, I need the
before I
footage from the
even
security cams.
return the fucking handbag to the old lady, I'm checking to see if all the storefronts along the way have CCTV cameras.
You'd be clipping it out
I'm
and putting
pulling the
captions on
clips.
it.
Dude, what
Yeah.
if you looked fat when you were doing it? It was like a really bad angle of you.
Yeah, from
Or I
below.
didn't like my outfit that day.
Run
Yeah.
it back.
I'd go to Quigs.
Yeah.
Did any chance
a
you
better
can
fit.
enhance my calves a little?
Yeah, you do something heroic, but it's a horrible photo that they take.
Yeah.
What a nightmare.
What can you do here?
Ugly man stops robbery.
Can you edit out me taking some of the cash out of her purse before I hand it back to her?
He must have got off with your pills.
Yeah, I don't know. I think in like if I was on the subway and someone like robbed an old lady, I think I'd be like, what the fuck?
Interesting. See, I would be much.
Like, I think I would say something.
I don't
Subway has
know that
nowhere
I
for you to
would.
go.
But you're always like within like 1 second of the next stop.
Dude, the subway scares the
Jump
shit
off.
out of me. That is a place where I'm much less. You mean on the train?
On the train.
That's different. If I'm on the platform, the risk of someone pushing me in.
Oh, the platform, dude. If
Might
there was
be
a
the
guy
most
behind me
dangerous
just
place on
punching
earth.
old ladies in the face, I'd be like, yeah, you do what you got.
Everywhere else has the partitions, right? Like the glass and it slides open along.
Not the newer trains here in New York. Now they've got these like open cabin ones that just are long hallways all the way
Have you
down.
seen these?
No.
To me, I think it might be one of the worst ideas of all time.
Why?
The only like safe part about the subway is that you're all in, like there's like only so many people can fit in one car.
There's camaraderie with the people in your car.
Yeah, and now you just got one long
Okay,
car.
devil's advocate. Now, if someone starts acting up, you have everybody on the entire train to theoretically work with to
But you
subdue
also
that
have
person.
everyone on the entire train who's going to break out into insane panic.
Yeah.
And now
Do you
guys-
scout out the person when you're walking down the plane to see who would
Yep.
stop? Yeah.
How
I
long
know-
are they?
I know who my buddies
that?
are.
I had a
is-
situation on a flight to
But I also
London.
know who, if the plane goes down in the ocean and we end up in a life raft, who we're eating first.
you have that too.
Yeah. I
That's
make
smart.
sure. Yeah. I know.
Very
What do you look
wise.
for there.
Someone young and weak.
I had a good
who's
old
not gonna
boy give me a
bring
nod
anything.
because I was on a plane and some people got up to pray, and the guy in front of me turned around, he nodded at me like, "You ready?"
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Dude, Chappelle
Because
had
everybody's
such a
crazy.
bit about that years
Did he?
ago. Yeah, about how he like some he was like after 9/11 and he said an Arab guy like got up and started like saying something crazy and Chappelle and this other black guy looked at each other and nodded and some other white guy next to him was like, "Oh my God, they're gonna do something." He's like, "No, we just know we're the only two guys that aren't going to be in trouble here."
Yo.
Or something like that because
Yeah.
the guy was Arab.
Yeah.
I can't remember the exact joke. Okay, but fuck, what was I going to say? No, you guys talk. I had another thought, but I want to.
You had another question.
I think I asked
Oh,
it.
you asked the
Yeah.
question.
Oh, but I have this. This is interesting. So I was doing shows in Baltimore this past weekend, and at one of the shows, I asked the question of the crowd: "Does anyone here work on a boat?" Because it was next to the harbor,
Mhm.
and this one guy raised his hand, and I said, "What do you do?" And he goes, "I'm a merchant engineer." And he's an engineer on merchant marine ships, and I was like, "Oh, that's really interesting. Like, what does that mean?" And he goes, "Well," I was like, "Have you ever had any close calls or worrying things?" He said, "Well, I was actually on the last boat that crossed through the Red Sea, and we were attacked by the Houthi rebels.
Wow.
And they attacked us with drones that had rockets on them, and they fired 200 rockets at us. And 196 of them were shot down by the destroyer that was accompanying us through the Red Sea, but 4 got through. 2 landed in the ocean right next to the boat, and then 2 hit the boat. And I had to work on the repair of the boat as we brought it through. And that was the last ship that they let through that the U.S. let through.
What
And then they
witty
closed
joke
that.
did you make to follow that up?
I don't even. Well, I mean, he was like answering these questions as like so casually and quietly.
Yeah.
And I was because he was like, they shot at us, and I was like, I figured he was talking about I was picturing like the Somali rebels.
The Somali
Yeah.
pirates have to have the worst record across
Yeah.
any.
Oh,
They pull up on a canoe.
Yeah.
Dude, what are you gonna do?
I was like, so those like AK-47 bullets must have glanced off the ship's hull. And he was like, well, actually, it was drones with rockets. And I was like, what?
drones with rockets?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
The Houthi are an ethnic group.
They're in Yemen,
from-
right?
Yemen.
Who's
Yemen.
funding them?
Iran.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And who's funding them?
U.S.
Is that true?
That I don't know.
you just got to dig a little deeper.
Iran has its own natural resources. I think it's a pretty
Open your
relatively
eyes,
wealthy
brother.
country.
Look around. What do you think?
The Somali pirates will like see a U.S. oil tanker and then just like have a slingshot and be like, "I got this.
Yeah, they'll be like, this is us. We'll take
we
it.
got this right now."
But also in the defense of the Somali pirates, like in Captain Phillips, which is what I'm sure we're all referring to right now, all they had as defense was water. That was it. They were
Yeah.
like, turn on the hoses.
Spray them.
And it was like, what is that? They have guns.
Pirates are fine getting wet.
Yeah, like I don't know if that.
What if they turned around? They're like, "Fuck,
Yeah, call it off.
I'm in my clothes."
Yeah, it's weirdly cold. Call it off.
Oh, it's freezing.
My clothes are sticking to me.
They should do a Pirates of the Caribbean, but for Somalia.
Yeah.
Like Pirates of Somalia, Curse of the Extra Strong Chat. I think is the stuff they chew.
Oh yeah.
Bro, didn't you try some of that shit?
I did.
Is it Kot? Is that how you pronounce it?
Chat.
T or
Chat.
K-A-T?
K-H-A-T,
Kot or chat.
right?
I think in
Yeah.
different countries they call it different things. But I went to a wedding in Ethiopia and we were like 2 miles out. And the day after the wedding, they were like, we got some chat. Like we drove an hour back and found like this guy who has this incredible chat. And we all like sat around cross-legged, like eat it. You like eat fucking leaves that aren't salad. Like you're just packing leaves into your lip. And we ate it for maybe like 3 hours, just all like looking at each other, and nothing happened. Damn. We were just like horses fucking chewing on it. It wasn't not a placebo, nothing. They
I would
just
have
had like
convinced myself that something was
Oh,
happening.
I would have thought myself into a panic attack.
Yes, yes.
I'm like, I'm way too high right now. There's nothing at all.
It was a bad batch of I think it like stops being like psychoactive after a while, but they said it was a combination of weed, Adderall, and Viagra.
Whoa.
That sounds lovely.
That sounds amazing, right?
It sounds like you got some bunk.
Yeah, I think we just got some trash.
You guys got
ripped off by a Somali high
Bunk
schooler.
shot.
He just picked up a pile of leaves and was like, yeah, this is
Yeah,
cot.
here you go.
This is cot. Enjoy. That'll be $8,000.
No, their money is worth nothing.
Yeah.
That's like 20 cents
Yeah.
for it was bushels. It was
Some of
like
the best
huge
shit they
bags.
had, some pure shit.
Yeah. It was trash. Good memory to remember that it was chot that they were
Shot. Yeah.
eating. Cot.
I don't think that the guy who played the lead pirate in Captain Phillips has had any other. Actually, maybe he's had some other acting.
You know, he
roles.
only got paid like 60 grand for that role,
Yeah.
and Tom Hanks got paid 20 million.
Well,
Tom Hanks is the
Here's Tom Hanks.
yeah.
Makes sense.
You know,
But
Dave
60
Portnoy makes more than me.
Yeah, but it would be like that would be like if I don't know. I mean, that guy was the co-star of the movie.
And he never went to Epstein's Island.
60 grand.
Yeah, that's great.
That would
Yeah.
be the,
In like
but
an
you could
Oscar-winning
legitimately
movie.
count on two hands the number of people that went to see that movie because
of that guy.
Omo Shegban, whatever was in
Yeah.
it. It's all of his buddies from Minneapolis. They're all from Minneapolis. I don't know what his name is. Let me look it up.
They are all from Minneapolis.
yes.
Minneapolis.
Oh yeah.
Are they really?
Yep.
That's
They
where
all
the
are.
huge
They're all
Somali
in
population is.
Minnesota.
And you know where the other big pocket of them is in the United States?
Idaho?
Martha's Vineyard.
Maine.
Maine.
We have a huge Somali population. in Maine.
Nah.
I mean, you're
Dead serious.
99% white, aren't you?
7% white.
Every other percent is Somali.
Somalian.
Well, because they
Yeah.
send they allow people into the US, but they're like, okay, but we're gonna send you to this like cold, maybe less desirable locale, like Idaho
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
Minnesota or
Who did
Maine.
they send to Martha's Vineyard recently?
Well, that was in Florida. That was the governor of Florida. Who,
DeSantis.
just was like,
Yeah.
it was immigrants, illegal
And
immigrants.
they
I
just
think.
sent him all to Martha's
Bust 'em
Vineyard.
up.
Yeah.
So funny. Such
Tim-
a funny place to send them.
Did you see Tim Dillon's rant about that? It was the funniest
No,
thing
I
I've
don't
ever
think so.
seen. Because it was like, whatever, October. He was like, and now they're all in Martha's Vineyard. Don't they know that that's not peak season? They've missed the season.
I mean, being in Martha's Vineyard in the winter must be
Yeah.
dark.
Would you be offended if a Somalian refugee was like, Maine fucking sucks?
Dude, I mean, I don't know. Well,
Nothing to do in this
I'm bored as fuck.
Portland, Maine and Lewiston, Maine were huge enclaves for Somali immigrants. And it was because, as we were told, that they were a very, it was like tribal oriented kind of people. They had come over as an entire village,
Oh.
had emigrated. And originally they went to Atlanta, where the elders realized in short order that young people were immediately starting to go the wrong way
Mhm.
and get involved in like gang activity and stuff like that. So they uprooted them from Atlanta and brought them to Maine.
Okay.
Do you
That's
think?
interesting.
Do
Closest
you
state to Africa.
Well said.
were you living in Maine at the
Correctly
time?
said.
Yes.
And you noticed?
Oh my goodness. Absolutely. Because I went to school in Portland and
Yeah.
Portland was where, and then like, dude, there was a kid at Portland High School whose name was Francis and he was from Somalia. And he was the best soccer player on their team.
I'm sure.
And then there was a girl at my school, Chevris, who was really cute, who hit me up on IM and started like flirting with me. And she thought I was Francis from Portland.
She's like, your Somalian's a little off.
And he was like 3 years older than me. And we could not, I mean, if you put our skin tones in a Crayola
But you
pack,
were
we're
probably-
at different
Yeah,
sides
yeah.
of the
Thrown
box.
off by like the perfect grammar.
I don't know if I spoke as well as back then as I do now.
I'm sure you spoke pretty good.
I was IMing,
Yeah.
But
What was your AIM name?
White Francis.
White ass Francis.
It was something to do with like I was really into wrestling back
Sick
then.
Narf.
That's my name backwards. Yeah.
Yeah, people did that.
I had a couple. I can't remember.
It's hilarious to think of a dude from Somalia who's in the Maine being like, I gotta get back to Somalia.
Good
man.
God, there's nothing. I'm so fucking.
These people suck. I don't fuck with these people. From
They were I would
shit.
say by and large that the Somali immigrants were, I think, and I could be very naive about this, but very well received.
Yeah.
And liked and integrated into the main.
Well, that's good.
It was probably
Not
their
the case
first
in
time in their
St. Cloud.
lives being bored, which is probably a rush.
Yeah. Do you know what I've experienced? I went to Sweden once and I was doing some shows over there, just was before anything, and like got to know some of the local comics and asked them about like, is this a racist country at all? And they were like, no, we are unbelievably not racist.
Would they say yes though?
I kind of, whatever. Yeah, I think so. The comedians would have.
Yeah.
And they were like, it's because there are so few people of color that nobody has developed like any sort of prejudices against them. You can't group their behavior because they're so like one-offish.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And maybe there's something to that too, where like in Maine, as you said, whitest state in the country.
I don't know, because when I went to Iceland, I was picking up a heavy racist vibe.
Were
over
you?
there. Yeah, big time.
What were you
Big
picking up?
time. Well,
you said you went to that one town and there was like swastikas painted all over the place.
and there was like, there's
N-words.
like really like graphic like graffiti drawings of like lynchings and shit.
Yeah, that's a vibe for sure.
And
Yeah.
we pulled into that town and we saw that and we were like, let's go somewhere
That
else.
was just a not Reykjavik.
That was not Reykjavik. No, we were in I forget what the town was even
Grapevik?
called. We were planning on spending the whole day in that town, and then we saw that, and we were like, "Let's get the fuck out of here."
I found
Yeah,
out
back to the
midway through a
woods.
tattoo, my tattoo artist was a Nazi.
That's never fun.
No, and there's nothing you can do.
What
Why
was
are
he
the
good?
eyes swastikas
Yeah.
on mine?
And he was like, I was looking around the shop and he had some. I thought he was like just a World War II buff.
yeah.
But he only collected one side, and then he was like, "Come down the basement, and, like look at the other shit." And then he started like making jokes. Yeah,
Stuff.
yeah.
Tough when people like assume you're on their side.
Oh, they do it all the
Yeah.
time too.
Yeah.
What a slap in the face.
What do you mean
just
they?
Being, I think just
But, like,
being white, like
being
people do that.
tattooed by him, you have to like play along.
You got to talk to the person.
Yeah.
We got to be getting close now to a time when there are no more living Nazis from the Third Reich left on Earth.
Yeah, definitely.
Very close.
Just as there are probably very few
World War II
veterans of World War II left.
Like how many Hitler youth do you think are left?
But that gives you
count it.
more time because they were kids
Right.
during that time.
But still, I mean, they were kids during the 1940s, earlier.
Yeah, right.
So that would mean now they're
Say they're 5. They were born in 1935. Is 90 years old. Yeah.
Yeah, we're close.
You think they ever like fucked a black dude or anything like that? Any Hitler youth ever like strayed to the
cool.
other side?
I'm sure, for sure, yeah.
I think,
Love is love, man.
Fucked a Jewish bro or something?
Yeah.
Wow.
That'd be dope. A rebellious Hitler.
Jewish
Yeah.
bro.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a black Jewish dude.
It is weird though. Like you do get that a lot. I get that all the time when I go to like other cities where like you'll be like in an Uber or you'll talk to someone after a show and they'll say something insane and they'll be like, you know what I mean? And you're like, yeah.
People always
What?
just say, yeah.
I don't know if it's a face thing for me or how I carry myself, but I get both extremes.
Same.
Okay.
You do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would be worse if I only got one.
I think people just assume everyone's on their side.
That's true.
I think
Of,
that's
like,
more of a liberal thing. Or actually, maybe not. Maybe not. Liberals and extreme racists assume that everyone's
Yeah.
on their side.
Every time I'm in an Uber and it's a long Uber and I'm like coming back from a weekend or something, or I'm going to a hotel for a weekend and I tell them I'm a comedian, if it's like a white dude driving, immediately it just turns into like, oh, you guys really can't say anything anymore.
I'm surprised you tell Uber drivers you're
I
Canadian.
don't really anymore, but I remember there was one time specifically I was in Atlanta and I was in an Uber back to the airport. I was leaving and I told the dude I was a comedian. He was like, man, it's got to be a tough job right now. You really just can't say anything, can you? And he's like, it's crazy that like a Like a black guy could go on stage and say the N word all he wants, but if you went up there and said that, your career is over.
But he kind of has your life in your hands, and he's driving you. So you have to.
Oh yeah, I'm in the back like, oh dude, 100%.
Oh, I've been in situations where I've like made good points to them. They're like, I've made people more racist. Like, have you thought about this? Yeah. But just because I had to, out of necessity.
Just like, phrenology is actually the study of how their skull is.
It's something worth reading up. It's something worth reading about. Yeah.
You know, I actually got some good YouTube videos that you should check out. What's your WhatsApp?
No, what's your Telegram?
Telegram. Signal.
Yeah.
What's your signal?
Throw me your dat chat. Just make sure you nuke the convo when we're done.
You guys were the face of that program.
Still are. Strong.
Shout out to
That's
our
how we
sponsor.
communicate, actually. For the
Via
pod.
dat chat,
Via dat chat, only.
It's the only way. Fuck yeah.
Fuck yeah. That's an hour. Sweet.
That was
Should
good.
we go for another hour?
We'll stop.
talking.
Let's stretch. Can we stretch?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to piss.
Let's stretch.